In the first few years of a software career, we are taught that our value is additive. We measure progress by features shipped, tickets closed, and lines of code committed. But if you look at the architecture of a system that has survived for 5 or 10 years, you'll notice something. The most impactful work wasn't always what was added to the application. It was what was removed or changed during refactoring the system. Let's look at a practical example. We are looking at a project built during a 48-hour hackathon. The goal back then was speed, not stability. We have 26 files changed. Interestingly, we aren't just deleting code today, we are rebalancing it. We added 182 lines to replace 165 lines of confusion. In a senior audit, the goal isn't just a lower line count, it's a lower cognitive tax. The more complex a system becomes, dependencies and functions are interconnected, the more we need to hold in our memory, operational memory, which leads to cognitive overload. And we see it wasting our time trying to figure out what is going on there, how this code works, and sometimes why it works. The curve you see here is the complexity of the features you're building today, but notice the shadow underneath. That's the technical debt. It's the hidden weight that every new feature is forced to sit on. And these loops, or arrows, those are ghost dependencies, all decisions that are still eating your working memory today. The game's logic is simple. A user needs to find pairs of images as fast as possible. Actually, I started this video intending to show you a massive deletion. I wanted to gut this project and see how small I could make it, but as you can see, I also found a bug in the pause functionality when I triggered the board reset. You'll notice in app.js, in other spots, I didn't perform a full refactor. Instead, I left architectural markers. Sometimes simply documenting the debt and centralizing the intent is the most efficient use of our time. We are identifying the boilerplate theater, so the next person, or our future self, knows exactly where the friction lies. I will go through the changes I could make in the code this time, and we will stop in some places and I will explain why I'm changing them, why it's needed, and how probably to write it better next time. I left a link to the repository in the description. Feel free to open the main branch and train your code review and refactoring skills with me. Here you can see that I'm changing names for the class names. This is a classical example of naming variables during short time, during time constraints, where you can just name a div as a div and go on. While reading the code and analyzing Codebase, I found components that were not used but introduced, and my plan was either to use them in the places related to the functionality or delete them completely. So, how do you identify what to delete? You look for boilerplate theater. This happens when we implement patterns like Redux, complex wrapper components, or clean architecture folders, not because the project needs them, but because we think this is how professional code looks. In a well-crafted system, every abstraction should pay for itself. When it doesn't, it's just clutter. Part of our work here is finding the ghost dependencies. That code that lingers in the corners of a project simply because no one has stopped to ask if it still needs to be there. A word of caution: there is a difference between minimalism and laziness. Don't delete code just because you don't understand it. That's how you create regressions when you may break existing functionality. A true forensic delete happens only after you have mapped the entire system. You delete code when you find a way to achieve the same business outcome with less surface area. If you can't explain exactly why a piece of code is redundant, you haven't earned the right to delete it yet. This is the most critical part of the review. In the original code, the game and board components would unmount whenever the pause view was triggered. This destroyed the internal state and forced the user to start over. It's a classic lifecycle bug. By adjusting the conditional rendering to keep the game mounted, we deleted the bike entirely. We added a few lines of structure to preserve a user's progress. So here I added a user hook for the board itself and a condition so that the game and the board is always rendered and not unmounted when the game is paused. Every line of code we commit rather often becomes a future debt payment. It's a line that needs to be tested, a line that needs to be refactored when a dependency updates, and the line that a new hire has to hold in their working memory. We often fall into a feature fallacy, the belief that the more functionality equals more value. In reality, every new abstraction increases the surface area for bugs. In my experience, simplifying mature code bases, the real problem is almost never lack of functionality. It's almost always a feature that should have existed or written the way it's written in the first place. I've left the link to the original hackathon repo in the description, and to the PR as well with my changes. If you were performing diagnostic, what's the file or maybe the function you would have deleted that I kept? Let's argue about the architecture in the comments. Feel free to suggest any improvements to the repository. You may also practice your code review and refactoring skills on that. Psychologically, software is about maintaining the user's flow state. A bug that resets progress is a direct attack on that flow. We've made the system predictable. We traded 165 lines of hackathon logic for 182 lines of architectural intent. The system is slightly larger, but the mental model is significantly cleaner. Diagnostics complete. If you find such content helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to get the more similar content. The next challenge is making sure the code is actually readable for the human brain. In the next video, we are going to talk about Miller's Law and how to refactor a complex system to fit within the limits of human working memory. See you in the next video.